Hello and welcome, guys. Thank you for joining me again for another night of Facebook Live. I also want to take time out to recognize those that catch the replay from YouTube and or SoundCloud. It is indeed a blessing to be here with you tonight. I am your host, Tricia Bray Smith, author, educator, and public speaker. Tonight we're talking about your storehouse. Build up your storehouse. So it's just another reminder of some of the things that we need to be considering here as 2020 goes along. I am so grateful that you thought enough to join me tonight. And as you guys are logging on, feel free to like and share this video. Feel free to like and share this video. And we'll get started here in just a second. Alrighty, guys. So as you guys are logging on, like and share this video. Another stormy weather, stormy night, but nevertheless, things continue to move on. Life continues to happen, and deaths are continuing to knock on our door. And so let's keep our friends, our families, our loved ones. Let's keep one another lifted in prayer and in our hearts, and let's not neglect to check on one another. Times out here are tough, guys, and I don't know any other way to put it. Times are tough, and life hits us all from day to day, but we all go through our storms differently. So let's keep one another in mind, continue to show that love and support for one another. If you're here with me tonight, go ahead and hit that like button, like and share this video. Also give me a shout out. Let me know that you are here. Miss Karen, I'm glad you're here joining me tonight. I see you just joined on. And Keisha, awesome, awesome, awesome. It's good to see you, ladies. So I need you guys' help tonight. This is not a live that I wanted to do on my own tonight. This is something to where I wanted to solicit your help because, we take for granted that everything is well. We take for granted that our needs are met now. And oftentimes we neglect to think about our storehouse. And that is considering what we have put away for difficult times. So tonight I want you to help me and the viewers put together a storehouse. Think about the things you would need put away or stored away in the event that we are in a place to where we can't go to the store and get supplies, or in a place to where for any length of time we don't have funds or things like that. So we're thinking about those times that they call it famine. We hear about those things, but I don't know that we've ever been in a famine. It's been a long time. 1930s, 1920s and 30s, when the Depression hit and things of that nature. It was an agricultural society. It's an agricultural nature. And hey, Rita, how are you, babe? And so now we're living in a time of modern technology. We live with this modern technology, and some of us are so lost into this modern world that we have not even stored up our storehouse. What do I mean by that? That means if something happened today where we were not allowed to go to the store for the next 3 months to make a purchase of something, many of us would starve to death. Not only that, but we wouldn't have enough water and just vital necessities to survive for any number of days. So tonight, this is what I want us to really think about. I want us to think about what's in our storehouse. And for some of us, we've already got some things put away and we circulate it out from year to year. But for others, we don't have anything. If we had to um, be without for the next month, we wouldn't even make it to the for the next 30 days, let alone the next 90 days or 180 days. So this is what I want us to start thinking about, guys. And for you that may have not have a storehouse built up, I want you to help me tonight. Give me some ideas. What would we put in our storehouse? What is it that we need in our house in the event that there's no electricity, in the event that there's no economic exchange of money for goods, in the event to where um, all we had was just our house, just a roof over our head, no running water, no electricity. So let's think about that tonight. I want you to be thinking about what it is you would need stored away so that we could survive for the next 3 to 6 months if it was necessary. Without all the modern luxuries, thinking about the number of people that are in our household and what it looks like to feed our families over the next 3 to 6 months without these modern conveniences. So to look at that, we could think, man, that could be expensive to go out and just buy stuff and start storing away. But if we prepare and we prepare properly and understand uh, what's necessary in the time of famine or depression or things like this, that I believe that aren't far from us and that are to come, um, what does that look like for us? How much uh, non-perishables do we have put away for our families to make sure that we're going to eat over the next 3 to 6 months or even a year, even? But I'm looking at 3 to 6 months of supplies, hygiene. What will we need for hygiene? What will we need to um, prepare food? Uh, how much water do we have stored away? Just things like that of that nature. So I hope you guys are with me tonight. Help me build this storehouse. So if you have an idea of something that you either have in your storehouse or something you would consider putting in your storehouse, go ahead and drop that in the comment section tonight, because I'd like to hear what you think is necessary to be in your storehouse uh, in the event that something like this occurs. Keisha says canned goods, a can opener, flour, cornmeal, rice, beans, peanut butter, uh, battery operated radio, just to name a few. And Keisha, that is good. That is so good. Um, and so these are some of the things, when this is brought to our attention, we need to at least start with one. And this is where it starts. We don't have to go broke and get in a panic thinking that, oh, I got to get this stuff. It just starts with a plan, with a thought. And all those things are good. Um, and I'm looking at some of the things she said. She's saying, the canned goods and things like that. How I'm going to pose the question with the canned goods and things like that. How do we plan to cook, or how do we plan to heat the food? Since you mentioned canned goods and things of that nature, so can be considering that as well. So this is just going to help us think and plan and build our storehouse and to get an idea of what it's going to look like in the event that something like this comes along. Karen says canned or powdered milk. Absolutely. Absolutely. Canned or powdered milk. It's going to be very necessary when we're looking at um, building up our storehouse. Um, Come on, guys. I know some more of you are out there. Give me some ideas. What would you do to build up your storehouse? Another thing that I think about, I would get some jugs of water put away. And I'm not talking about going out buying jugs of water. We have containers that we use, and after we use them, we could repurpose them for the use of storing up water and things of that nature. Because if there's no running water in our house, or if the water is contaminated to where we're not being able to drink it, we would need water for hygiene purposes, and also to prepare, wash and prepare and, our food, wash our clothes, and things of that nature to keep some level of civilization here. Let's see what Miss Rita says. Miss Rita says candles, a lantern, matches, canned goods, absolutely. And when you guys are saying canned goods, I want you to also be thinking, how are you going to heat that? How are you going to cook that? And what are you going to use in it? You know, what are you going to put it in to prepare that? So these are just some things to think about. Keisha says charcoal, if no gas, no gas, Keisha. So you will need some form of heat. And so she's saying to use charcoal. So to store up a little bit of charcoal. I'm thinking more of a rig of wood and some cardboard. You know, we get boxes in the mail from all this shopping we're doing, breaking down those boxes and storing them away. I think about stuff like that. And so charcoal would be a way we could use to generate heat to prepare food. Also, just a brick of wood or something stored away somewhere. Awesome. Awesome ideas, guys. Uh, Karen says, learn to cook on a fire pit. Absolutely. For those of us that have uh, that kind of space and access to a fire pit, we would have to learn how to cook. What kind of let me see, what kind of cooking tool would you need, guys? Think about that. What kind of cooking tool could you use that would let's see, they come in. Oh, okay. Could you use to put on that fire pit? So that's something that you would have to think about. What kind of cooking utensils would you have to um, use to stir the food and things like that? What kind of utensils would hold over that length of time being washed and laid out and things like that? So we're looking at what kind of dishes would you need to use to lay that food out on. I'm thinking of a cast iron. I think a cast iron is uh, durable, so that could be something. I'm thinking about wooden cooking spoons and spatulas and things of that sort for the cooking, and the type of durability we're going to need it for to withstand the different types of weathering and things like that. So, guys, you got some great ideas. Awesome, awesome, great ideas. We'll also need uh, uh, that heat to warm our water, because remember, there's no modern um, accessibilities. So all we have is just a shelter over our head. And so we're looking at having uh, light from outdoors. We're considering a source of heat, because we know over the next 3 to 6 months, we're moving into our winter months. So what does that look like? We're going to need to make sure that we have blankets and things like that stored away as well. Bread probably won't hold long, so we'll have to look at an alternative for that, such as crackers. And I like the peanut butter and ideal and things like that, because we don't have to worry about that ruining too much, So it's a lot of things that when we're looking at building our storehouse, there's many things to consider. And what does that look like? How many candles? How many matches? How much wood? How much charcoal? These are thoughts that we need to be thinking about. How many canned goods? And what does it look like? What does a ration for the day look like? How many pounds of food per day do we need for our family? How many people are in our family, and how many do we need to consider feeding? Do we have soap? Because we have to stay as healthy as we can no matter what. Do we have soap? Do we have the toothpaste? Do we have toothbrushes and things like that stored away so that, what about the toilet papers and towels and just things of that nature, just stored away in the event that um, challenging times come our way. So I would like to hear some more of your ideas. I know we have not named them all, and some of you have some great ideas about what we need in a storehouse in the event that um, we cannot exchange economically over the next 3 to 6 months, whether or not we don't have running water, electricity in the house, and all we have is just a roof over our head. What does that look like for us? See, Karen did confirm that cast iron does good. So how many cast iron? How many cast iron uh, pots and pans or whatever that looks like would you need for your family? That's something to consider and to have it put away. Blankets for the winter, absolutely, absolutely. And what does that look like when we say blankets for the winter? Uh, what does that look like for our family? How many blankets would we need? So these are all things to consider because we know that 2020 has been unpredictable, absolutely unpredictable. Things continue to happen, and economically, I shared my thoughts about that in an earlier video. Not only that, um, you know, we never know what to expect from one day to the next. So all I'm doing is putting on your mind that we need to be thinking ahead. We need to be planning ahead so that if something happens, at least we'd have a plan in place and already be making preparation for next. Already making plans for next. And this is medicines, yes. For many of us, we know that those medicines, such as for headaches and uh, uh, antibiotic ointments and things of that nature, we know that a first aid kit, you know, those kind of things are necessary for us. And so that is very good, Keisha, that you would even think of that, because that was something that I had never even thought of. So the collection of bandages and alcohol and peroxides and gauze and cotton balls and things of that nature. And it was something that I hadn't even thought about, but you are so right. Flashlight, yeah, flashlight and the batteries. Guys, what also, we're thinking about those vital things, but some of the other things that I considered was notebooks and pencils. I thought about notebooks and pencils, and why would you think this would be necessary? Well, I thought that notebooks and pencils would be necessary because if we go through a time like this, it would be good to journal and document. That could be a form of therapy and sharing it. As time goes on, it could be something that could be passed along and read and possibly even published later on down the road. Canned meats, yes, for protein. Thank you, Miss Crawley, for that. Canned meats. Things are so necessary, guys, that what are the kids going to do for entertainment? Because we know that a lot of their entertainment now is on electronic devices, but we don't have access to electricity at this time and no modern amenities. So if that is the case, then what are the kids going to do for entertainment? What are you going to have stored up for them? And I think about puzzles, and I think about board games and things like that that are going to be important to start thinking about. Now, do you have to spend a lot of money for many of these things that I'm talking about to start building your storehouse? And the answer to that is no. It is not necessary to go out here and spend hundreds of dollars trying to build up a storehouse and get in a panic and things of that nature. You just have to have a plan, guys. And for the things like the blankets and the board games and all that kind of stuff, books and things like that to entertain us, which we know is still going to be necessary, so because we'll still need some uh, form of life to live. You know, we're not dead or anything like that. We're still going to need to have some entertainment and stuff in life. Uh, you can consider goodwill shopping, secondhand stores, thrift shops, things like that, to start looking into some of these board games and blankets and things like that, because people give those things away all the time. They donate them, and so that's something that you could be going to purchase and cleaning and starting to put away and start building your storehouse. Now, I know some of you say, what if we do all this and nothing happens and all that? Well, good and fine. We hope we never have to uh, go into our storehouse out of necessity. But I'd rather have a storehouse built up in the event that I needed to, rather than need to and not have one already started. So it's all about preparation, guys. Can't Canning, some people can and so that's been real popular lately. And so if you're canning, you know, that's something, or you know someone who cans, then that's something also that you can use to start building up your storehouse. Miss Crawley said board games, absolutely. um Ken Warwick say learn to play checkers. Yeah, yeah, and so that is good. Learn to hunt and fish. Yes, learn to hunt and fish is good, but we know that with our air and things of that nature right now, we don't know what that's going to look like either. So thinking of that, we also may want to have some masks and things like that stored away with our fishing gear and things like that that are low maintenance, that we can start storing that stuff away. Absolutely, guys. So we don't want to neglect and think that the air is going to be well. So in the event we have to leave the house, that we are not protected. So we want to look at that on every hand. You guys have given such great options tonight and shared your wisdom and knowledge as it comes and as it relates to building up your storehouse. But what I want you guys to think about for the next 24 hours, soap and towels. Absolutely. Absolutely. Soap and towels. Absolutely. Um, we want you guys to be thinking about what it would take for you to build up your storehouse. That's important to me, that I put on your mind and that we put on one another's mind what it looks like to make sure that we're prepared in the event that uh, hard days like this comes, because we know that we can't predict what tomorrow will bring, but we can certainly have a plan and begin to prepare. Now, for those of you who have already started building your storehouse, um, I commend you on doing that. And I hope that somebody tonight has even, hey, Miss Irma, how are you? We hope tonight somebody has given you some ideas of something that you need to include or that you may want to include in your storehouse. And so this is something to start thinking about. This is absolutely something to start thinking about, guys. Start creating your plan over the next 24 hours, jotting your ideas down as it relates to you and your family, and begin to consider to build your storehouse. Okay? I appreciate you guys being here with me tonight. Awesome, awesome, awesome. It's something that we don't think about, Miss Irma. It's something that we don't think about often enough. And so you guys look in the comments, look at other people's ideas and what they think. And if you don't have these items, remember, you don't have to go out and spend a whole lot of money. thrift shops, secondhand stores, Goodwills, Salvation Armies. So many places already have these items at a discount um, pricing that you don't really have to just go out and worry about start to being in a spending a lot of money on these things. These are things you can pick up a little bit at a time as your budget allows, and begin to build up your storehouse. And guess what, in a year, if we haven't used the things in our storehouse, we can donate and replace, or we can start circulating it out and putting it into the circulation for the maintaining of our home. But it's good to have in place in case we need it, rather than to need it and not have anything in place at all. I appreciate you guys joining me tonight. I am your host, Tricia Bray Smith, author, educator, and public speaker. I'll meet you right back here tomorrow night, 10 p.m. Good night, everybody.